LT, a tag that first found itself on a car that can be regarded as the best car of all time, the McLaren F1. Now, every car that McLaren has ever made and wore the LT badge has been all about maximum driving engagement, sensational performance and extreme driver focus. Be it the F1 GTR LT, the 600LT or the 675LT. And with the 765LT, this has been taken to an all-new level because the 765LT happens to be one of the most powerful cars that McLaren has ever created for the road. From the name, you might already have guessed the horsepower, 765 metric, and in the name itself is the number of cars that will ever be made, 765. Few lucky people would be getting their hands on this beast. The 720S, from which the 765LT has been derived, is a car that gave hypercars a run for their money. It's one of the best cars McLaren has ever made, and there is no doubt on why it has been nicknamed the budget hypercar. Now imagine what will happen if I took that budget hypercar, reduced 80 kgs of weight, added 45 more horsepower and gave it 25% more downforce. Sounds too insane? Well, that's not all. The suspension has been lowered and the front track is wider, and a lot of other things that would make the cornering in the 765LT fun AF. Now, to make the 720S, which is already a light car, even lighter, McLaren had to delete some of the features that made the 720S the comfortable GT it is. There is no carpeting, no air conditioning, and no audio system. So now the only music you can listen to is the one that's produced by the 4-liter twin turbo behind your back, which has an insane power to weight ratio of 622 PS per ton. Now, if you look at the 765 from a far distance and take the whole car into consideration, you will see how its body has been shaped by the air. Everything is just so functional. You won't notice any awkward or out of the box bulges on the design of the 765LT because it has been shrink wrapped around the chassis and the engine. Everything is there for a purpose. The purpose here is to unite the driver and the car to make them a single entity. Every part in the 765LT is trying its best to do that, and it's not doing that by just increasing the power and by reducing weight. It's doing that by focusing on the little things as well. Now, what are these little things? Well, the steering now has been stiffened so that now you can feel the weight on the steering and be in control of the car more. Moreover, to make the driving experience even better, the separation between the driver and the engine has been made thinner. What this would ultimately lead to is a driving experience where the driver would be having a sensational feeling running through him because of the roar and the vibrations coming in. Since the 765LT has been made for dominating tracks, it's expected of it to do cornering very well, and the bespoke Pirelli P0 Trofeo Rs will do just that, plus the stiffer engine mounts will help in enhancing the stiffness of the car, thus making it more corner friendly. Some people might find the 765LT too aggressive, but the aggression hasn't been forced. It's meant to be purposeful. Coming again to the statement of form follows functions are the amazing engineering feats of McLaren Composites Technology Center. Now, as I previously mentioned, the 765LT is much lighter than the 720S. To be precise, the 765LT weighs just 1339 kgs, extremely light compared to other cars in the supercar world where the average weight is around 1500 kgs. Now, if we talk about the lightness of the 765LT more, you would notice that the places from where the weight has been cut off are unimaginable by a normal human mind. For starters, if you look at the wheels of the 765LT close enough, you would begin to notice that they are quite different from any other models McLaren has made, even different from the ones we have seen on the McLaren P1 and the Senna. Well, that is because McLaren has made this 10-spoke alloy wheels even lighter for the 765LT, just to save off some more weight. These alloy wheels are 22 kgs lighter in total from the ones that were on the 720S. Now that's some crazy amount of weight saving from a single place if you ask me. Moreover, you get the option of laser etching the logos on the wheels of the 765LT. Not only will it complement the car visually, it would give you some bragging rights as well. Now, when talking about the change in the engine numbers, everyone knows that the 765LT has 45 more horsepower, but torque is the number we should really be looking at here. The 720S had 770 Nm of torque going through the rear wheels. The 765LT? Well, it has 30 Nm more. Now this might seem very insignificant, but even small torque increments affect the car in a much more diverse way than small increments in horsepower numbers. So the 765LT has 800 Nm of torque to be precise, and all of this torque is available at just around 5500 RPM. But it's not all about the numbers, is it? The drive ratios have been revised and the final drive ratio has been made shorter. So this will allow you to do multiple quick shifts without needing to worry about changing the gears. This will prove to be really great at a drag strip where all you want to do is shift as fast as possible and finish the quarter mile in the least time possible. Since the engine on the 765LT has to handle so much more, it has to be strong enough to run all day long and still not break a sweat. McLaren has took their learnings from the Senna and applied them on the 765LT. The head gaskets, for example, are triple layered with the uprated high flow fuel and oil systems. Subaru, do take notes. Now, as the saying goes, numbers speak for themselves. The 765LT has numbers that speak for themselves too. Even after being a car that's been made for dominating tracks, the 765LT is fast enough to achieve a top speed in excess of 205 miles per hour. Yes, much faster when comparing it to its arch rival, the AMG GT Black Series, which recently set a lap record on the Nürburgring. Now, if we talk about the turbochargers specifically, they are twin electrically actuated twin-scroll turbochargers. The advantage they have over simple single turbochargers is quite significant. Single scroll turbochargers route those irregular pulses of exhaust into the turbine in a way that causes them to collide and interfere with one another, reducing the strength of the flow. In contrast, a twin scroll turbocharger gathers exhaust from pairs of cylinders in alternating sequence. Now, for a car that's so high in performance, the 765LT is going to provide you with decent efficiency and won't even break the emission standards. So it can be easily said that the 765LT has been engineered really good. Specifically, if we talk about the suspension, it has double wishbones with adaptive dampers and proactive chassis control. The differential is open with brake steer. Now the question is, what is brake steer? Well, brake steer is a phenomenon where a vehicle deviates to one side of the road during braking. Now this might not sound good, but by varying the application of the brake, you can pull some really good drifts in the 765LT. When you have a car like this, the last thing you want is for anything to go wrong. Thus, McLaren has provided some of the best driver aids, such as the anti-locking braking system, traction control system, electronic stability control, launch control variable drift control, hill hold assist, and limit downshift. With all of these safety features to back you up, you can be sure that every drive that you are going to take in the 765LT will be fun and safe. Now, being a rear-wheel drive car and having so much horsepower means that there is a huge possibility for the 765LT to suffer with traction issues or wheel spin during launch control, and thus a good width of the tire has to be ensured so that these undesirable issues don't ruin your drive in the 765. So the tire width stands at 245 in the front with 19-inch rims and 305 in the rear with 20-inch rims. The transmission in the 765LT is a 7-speed and reverse seamless shift gearbox. As the name would suggest, the transmission has been made to have seamless upshifts and downshifts. Also, if you have watched Ford vs Ferrari, which I trust most of you would have, you might remember the famous saying by Carroll Shelby. There is a point at 7000 RPM where everything fades. The machine becomes weightless. It disappears. All that's left, a body moving through space and time. Well, the 765LT redlines at 8500 RPM, so we can only imagine the madness it brings along with it. Finally, the conclusion. The 765LT is a car that had big names to live up to, and I would say it does. It surely does. It's a car in which McLaren has put years of their hard work. They have taken learnings from their ultimate models such as the Senna. They have taken weight reduction to a whole new level. The engine, the driver engagement, the way they have made the car functional yet beautiful at the same time, the focus they have put in making the car sound great and not just loud. The crazy amount of weight reduction that they have done by making a light car already light, the feats that they have achieved. It doesn't even make sense to compare them to their rivals, cause its arch rival just can't stand up to it in any terms. McLaren has taught us what it actually takes to build a proper driver's car in this era of automobiles, where IC engines are just dying out, hybrids and EVs are being produced at a huge rate. The 765LT might be the best supercar we will be seeing from McLaren before they start going electric themselves. So let's adore the 765LT to the fullest while we still can. So everyone, that will be all for the McLaren 765LT. I know this video went pretty long, but I'd appreciate it if you have watched this till the end. It really means a lot to me. If you liked this video, which I trust you have, then do give it a like, share and leave a comment regarding what you felt about this video. And do subscribe to MOTORDRIFT for more such content in the future. Also, I would love to have you as a part of the MOTORDRIFT community, so join in by clicking the links in the description below. I would love to have you as a part of it. Till then, ciao.